Hey, what's up guys, it's Paralyzer. I did say that I would upload a Legion video soon, and that's what I'm doing. I did some twos games with my buddy Dev. He was playing Shadow, because I actually don't think you can queue with healers on the beta at the moment. I don't know if that's like their idea of, you know, on the beta we don't want this kind of queue thing, or if that is actually how it's going to be in Legion. I've heard that that's how it's going to be, and that's really shitty if you play a healer, but the takeaway is, like, you can play Shadow or you can play whatever, and you can go through and you can get up gear that way. That's fine. But some of the things that I wanted to talk about today were some of the problems with that on the beta, and then some of the things that they did that were really cool. Wake of Ashes being one of them. I don't know if you guys, if you saw the beginning of the video where when I burst, like, you swing like right there. That's a really cool feature. I like that a lot. That is like a sick ability. And then they added the mount up ability for Ret. Like during combat, you can mount up and freedom yourself and just chase after people. And we're gonna get to mobility in a second. But this was my biggest problem with Ret on the beta. It feels like for 5 or 6 abilities, they took away abilities, they pruned abilities from WoD, and even previous expansions, and gave us abilities that were like half as good. A good example is the Hand of Sacrifice. They removed Hand of Sacrifice from Ret, and then they added this Honor talent, which is basically a half as good Hand of Sacrifice. As in, it doesn't remove Polymorph, you only get 1 charge, and in WoD you got 2, obviously. There's no more clemency, but then if they dispel freedom with one of the honor talents, if they dispel freedom, you get like a reduced timing on it. So it's like like I said, it's like they took away abilities and then added ones that were half as good. Now, I'm okay with. I'm really not okay actually with them taking away Hand of Sacrifice, because it wasn't like it was a broken ability. It wasn't like it was a game-breaking ability where it just needed to be nerfed, because Ret obviously was not a very good spec in WoD. Like, I don't care what anyone says. The first season, Ret was okay, and then they nerfed it, and then after that, it was just fucking terrible. So, again, like I said, I don't want to be like this is a hating on video, because there's some really cool things they added. Eye for an Eye, they brought that back, and it's actually a really cool ability now. The new Divine Protection is really cool. It adds like a shield, and then after a certain amount of time it explodes and does damage, and that's awesome. Again, the Mount one is great. Wake of Ashes is awesome, and then you get this slow that you can use on them. It's like because we no longer have Seal of Justice, again, take away and then give something back. For some reason, a lot of classes got pruned. I shouldn't be bitching, but the fact that they took away a lot of things and then changed it, and you might see Divine Storm has a new animation, and again, a lot of these things are really cool and I like them. Then there's some of them I just don't like at all, like the Hand of Sacrifice, for instance. So I don't know how to explain it. Like, it feels like our mobility is pretty weak. As far like Emancipate's gone, you can't use that anymore, but then you get 20% movement speed on Hand of Freedom, and that's fine. But if I had 2 of, like I said, if Clemency was back in the game, it would feel a lot better. Because, one, I can't remove Polymorph anyway, so the only thing I can use my air quote Hand of Sacrifice on is stuns and silences. I don't know. I feel like there's no reason that Clemency isn't in the game at the moment. It's just one of them, like, oh, we're just gonna take it away because we can. And even if it was just a passive ability, like, I mean, if you don't want people to have a ton of abilities, just make it passive, because whatever, you know. Like, as you'll see in one of these clips is where I go to sacrifice a poly off, and it doesn't come off. And I do have that sacrifice ability, which is that little shield you're seeing on the priest. So I don't know. There's a lot of things I like, a lot of things I don't like. Overall, though, Ret is a ton of fun. Aside from the random one-shots that classes can do, aside from all the stupid bullshit going on because it's beta, Ret is actually just a ton of fun. And I have to say, like, the PvP itself is a lot of fun. Maybe it's just because there's no healers in 2s that the 2s were actually a ton of fun. I doubt that's the reason. I think it was just a lot of fun in general to actually just... You see, like, the new animations are just awesome. Like, and Ret has this insane AoE ability. Well, multiple AoE abilities that just randomly just fuck everybody up. And I like that. I like that a lot. Again, there's just certain things that I wish that they wouldn't have done, such as the removing a Clemency, they're removing a Sacrifice, and giving us a shittier version. Man, I don't know. It feels like there's just... I don't like the idea of taking something away to begin with. But if they did that, that would be fine. If they just remove Hand of Sacrifice altogether, that's great. Whatever, do your fucking thing. But don't give us a half-ass version in return, because it just looks stupid. It looks like You changed it just because you could. There was no reason to actually change it. You know, like, that's my problem with it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, though. It's like Hammer of Wrath is another good one. Like, the new Hammer of Wrath is absolutely shit. It's a 1-minute cooldown, and then, like, if you have blessings on a teammate, or you have blessings, it builds damage over time as they take damage with a blessing active. And it's just one of them things where it's like, why? You could have just kept Hammer of Wrath in the game. You know, like, just put it back to the way it used to be in Burning Crusade, where it was a cast time, like, and that you could only use it at 20%. You know what I mean? Make it like an execute or something like that. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to remove it, and then, oh, you know what, but we'll add it back as a shitty talent that no one's going to want to use because it's garbage. Why? Why even put it in the game at that point? Just remove it. If you're going to remove it, just remove it. Don't half-ass it and then make it some shit talent that no one wants to use. Hammer of Wrath is like a staple of Paladins, so I get they wanted to make Judgment like a big part of the, you know what I mean, like the Judgment animation is Hammer of Wrath, but you could have just kept Hammer of Wrath and then done something cool with Judgment on its own. You know what I mean, like the Execution Sentence. If you want that to be only a damage ability, you could have used the Judgment. I don't know where I was going with that. I guess the animation from Execution Sentence would be cool through Judgment, but if it was like it dropped from the sky and did damage, you don't have to replace Hammer of Wrath just to change the animation of Judgment. If that's why they did it, that's really stupid. And it seems like that is the reason, because now we have a Hammer of Wrath animation for an ability that isn't Hammer of Wrath, and then the Hammer of Wrath ability has the same animation, almost, and it sucks. It's friggin' garbage. I would much rather have Hammer of Wrath. Again, though, I don't want to waste too much time talking about the negatives, because there are a lot of cool things that they're doing, and I will say that the PvP is a ton of fun. If you happen to get the beta, I do recommend trying it out, but that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.